please.
You can dock my pay.
Tim Whitaker.
Here.
Linda Barnhart. Eric Goff.
Here.
Buchanan Norton. Tim Lewis.
Present.
Daniel Gant. Michael Bush.
Here.
Ronald Sherman.
Present.
Next item is the approval of the agenda. I don't know of any changes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Goff and a second by Mr. Bush? No, Mr. Truitt, to approve the agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Likewise for no. I don't believe we had anybody sign up for Sunshine Law speaker, so we'll pass that one. Next item is the approval of the minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Goff and a second by Mr. Bush to approve the minutes of the September 16th County Planning Commission meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Likewise for no. The minutes are approved. We have 5 public hearings this evening. The first on the docket is Merle Drive Facility.
This public hearing is a request for sketch plan advancement. The project is Merle Drive Facility, file 2406-172. The developer is Focus Architecture and Design, and the engineer is Integrity Federal Services. It's located in the Arden District, tax map 17, parcel 7.27. The site's located at 295 Murrell Drive in Kearneysville, approximately 0.4 miles from Charlestown Road. This project proposes vehicle circulation improvements throughout the existing facility and a site entrance on Murdoch Circle. In addition, improved parking, grading, and stormwater management will be provided. The proposed limits of disturbance is 1.75 acres. No waivers or exceptions have been requested. On September 18th, 2024, County Engineer Doug Smith deemed the above-mentioned project compliant with the subdivision ordinance. The sketch plan meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends advancement of the sketch plan to the preliminary plan stage.
Do you have anyone to represent the project?
I'm John Eisenhower with Integrity Federal Services.
Thank you, Joe. This is a public hearing. If you have any comments you would like to make on this project, we invite you to step forward, state your name and your address, and any comments that you may have.
There is no one. I move to close public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Goff to close the public hearing, second by Mr. Truitt, with no one from the public wishing to speak. All those in favor?
Aye.
Likewise for no. Motion to close the public hearing is approved. Planning Commission members, do you have any questions for Integrity or?
Hearing none, Mr. President, I make a motion.
Go ahead.
Make a motion to advance sketch plan to preliminary plan.
Second.
There are no questions. I have a motion from Mr. Bush and a second by Mr. Goff to accept the staff recommendations and advance the sketch plan to the preliminary plan stage. All those in favor?
Aye.
Likewise for no, and the motion carries. Next item is Bellwood.
This is a public hearing for request for final plat approval. The project is Bellwood, Section 3, lots 42 through 45. The file is 2401-020. The developer is CBS Plumbing LLC, and the consultant is DeMagno Consulting, Inc. It's located in the Apecan District, tax map 16, parcel 76.32. The site's located on Stormfield Drive West in the Bellwood subdivision, approximately 600 feet south of Plymouth Drive and southeast of Shepherdstown Road. The developer is proposing 4 single-family lots on 4.28 acres to be served by private well and septic. The final plat meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends final plat approval contingent upon a completed developer's agreement. Staff currently holds a bond for $342,523.20. That's inclusive of grading and final plat improvements.
Do you have anyone to represent this project?
Yes, sir. Andy DeMagno, DeMagno Consulting, also Mr. Smith from CBS Plumbing's in the audience. If you have any questions for him.
This is a public hearing, so if you have any comments about this project, we invite you to step forward, state your name and address, and any comments that you may have.
If there is no one, I move to close public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Goff and a second by Mr. Truitt to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Likewise for no. Public hearing is closed. Planning Commission members, do you have any questions for Andy on Bellwood?
Hearing none, Mr. President, I make a motion to accept staff recommendation for final plat approval contingent upon receipt of a complete developer agreement and further acknowledging a retained bond on hand currently of $342,523.20, inclusive of grading and final plat improvements.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Bush and a second by Mr. Goff to accept the staff recommendations for final plat approval contingent upon developer's agreement and retaining the bond that is currently being held. All those in favor?
Aye.
Likewise for no. The motion carries. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
Next on the public hearing is Meadows at Riverside.
Yes, this is a public hearing for request for final plat approval. The project is Meadows at Riverside Phase 1, lots 1 through 84 and 140 through 182. The file is 2401-002. The developer is LGI West Virginia and the engineer is Frederick Seibert and Associates. It's located in the Falling Waters District, tax map 7 and 11 and parcels 169 and 4. The property is located on the southwest side of Broad Lane and north side of Shale Pit Drive. This project proposes 127 single-family lots on 36 acres to be served by public water and sewer. The final plat meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends final plat approval contingent upon receipt of the surety in the amount of $5,119,404, plat to be released upon receipt of surety.
Thank you. Do you have anyone to represent the project?
Yes, good evening. Trevor Frederick, engineer with FSA.
This is a public hearing. If you have any comments on this project, we invite you to step forward, say your name and any comments you have.
If there is no one, I move to close public hearing.
Second.
There was no one to speak from the public. We have a motion by Mr. Goff and a second by Mr. Tu to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Likewise for no. Planning Commission members, do you have any questions for Trevor on Meadows at Riverside? Is this the first item for 2024? Ordinance? No?
No.
Okay, cool.
This was actually preliminary plan approval.
Okay.
Final platted under 2009.
It does say 2024,
It
so
says 2020.
that's why I bought that. That it should be 2009.
Where does it say? I'm sorry.
Under
Right,
staff,
right.
under the staff recommendation.
Under staff.
Yeah, mine doesn't say that. I don't know what that happened, but yeah, it's under 2000.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
2009.
Any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Hearing none, Mr. President, I'll make a motion to accept staff recommendation for final plat approval contingent upon receipt of surety in the amount of $5,119,404.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Bush and a second by Mr. Goff to accept the staff recommendations for final plat approval contingent on receipt of surety in the amount of $5,119,404. Said plat to be released on receipt of surety. All those in favor?
Aye.
Likewise for no. The motion carries. Thank you, Trevor.
I will say I was looking at the next staff report, so yeah, mine says 20.
Okay.
But it's we had to change all our staff reports templates, so it just auto generates it to 2024. So I didn't
Okay.
change it. My fault.
The next public hearing is Meadow Crest.
This is a public hearing for request for final plat approval. The project is Meadow Crest lots 1 through 29. The file is 2407-217. The developer is Panhandle Homes and the engineer is Fox and Associates. It's located in the Falling Waters District, tax map 17, parcel 12, and is located at the northeast corner of the intersection of Beddington Road and Davis Drive. This project proposes 25 single-family detached lots and 4 single-family attached lots on 9.64 acres to be served by public water and sewer. The final plat meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends final plat approval contingent upon receipt of surety in the amount of $1,267,788. Plat to be released upon receipt of surety.
Do we have anyone to represent the project?
Clint Rock with Fox and Associates.
First name again?
Clint.
Lynn? This is the last public hearing. If you have any comments on this project, we invite you to step forward, state your name and address, and any comments you have on Meadow Crest.
If there is no one, I move to close public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Goff and a second by Mr. Truitt to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Likewise for no. Planning Commission members, do you have any questions for Lynn on Meadow Crest?
Hearing none, Mr. President, I'll make a motion to accept staff recommendation for final plat approval contingent upon receipt of surety in the amount of $1,267,788.
Second.
We have a motion from Mr. Bush and a second by Mr. Goff to accept staff recommendations for final plat approval contingent on receipt of surety in the amount of $1,267,788. And said plat to be released on receipt of surety. All those in favor?
Aye.
Likewise for no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes the public hearings. The next is a preliminary final approval for Leatherman RV and boat storage.
This is a request for preliminary plan approval. The project is Leatherman RV and Boat Storage, file 2402-031. The developer is Lynn Leatherman, and the engineer is Frederick Seibert and Associates. It's located in the Falling Waters District, Tax Map 7, Parcel 102. This project's located on the north side of Broad Lane, approximately 0.22 miles east of Williamsport Pike. The developer is proposing a self-storage facility on 2.32 acres with no utilities being proposed. No waivers or exceptions have been requested. On September 27th, 2024, County Engineer Doug Smith deemed the above-mentioned project compliant with the subdivision ordinance. The preliminary plan meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends advancement of the preliminary plan.
Do you have anyone to represent the project?
Yes. Trevor Frederick, FSA.
Planning Commission members, do you have any questions or comments on Leatherman RV and boat storage?
There's nothing else, Mr. President. I'd recommend the staff recommendation of the preliminary meeting plans to meet the requirements of the subdivision ordinance of 2009. Therefore, staff recommendations advance of the preliminary plan.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Truitt and a second by Mr. Goff to accept staff recommendations and advance the preliminary plan or the advancement of the preliminary plan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Likewise for no. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Trevor. Next item is preliminary final approval for WM North, also known as Bill.
This is a request for preliminary final plat approval. The project is WM Norris lots, and the file number is 2305-159. The developer is William H. Norris, and the surveyor is Gregory Yabernetsky. It's located in the Arden District, Tax Map 19, Parcel 1.2. Project's located on Nadenbush Lane, approximately half a mile west from its intersection with Strobridge Road. The project proposes the creation of one 1.03 acre residential lot and one 1.07 acre residential lot with a 4.4 acre residue. Lot B-1 and B-2 will be served by public water and private septic. At the March 7th, 2023 Planning Commission meeting, the developer was granted a waiver to Section 305.4.1 of the subdivision ordinance requiring a 2 acre minimum lot size in order to proceed through the preliminary final plat process. On August 27th, 2024, County Engineer Doug Smith deemed the above-mentioned project compliant with the subdivision ordinance. The project is compliant with the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends approval of the preliminary final plat.
Have anyone to represent the project?
William H. Norris, developer.
Planning Commission members, do you have any questions for Mr. Norris on the Norris Lodge project?
Hearing none, Mr. President, I make a motion to accept staff recommendation for approval of the preliminary final.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Bush and a second by Mr. Goff to accept staff recommendations for approval of the preliminary final. All those in favor?
Aye.
Likewise for no. Motion carries. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Next is item 9, staff council discussion or action or motion. Anyone have anything?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Goff and a second by Mr. Truitt to adjourn the meeting at 6:16.
6:15, if I would.